Teen Wolf's beast is not a different kind of werewolf, despite the fact that nearly everything about Sebastien Valet's werewolf transformation was different. First, he supposedly got his werewolf spark from drinking rainwater from the paw print of a wolf.
We've heard the whole story of what happens when you drink rainwater from the paw print of a wolf. You become the demon wolf.
Jeff Davis tells me they chose to use the paw print thing because, quote, we love obscure lore in Teen Wolf. He used the Kanima as an example. Before season 2, there was almost nothing available about the creature, so the show writers were able to generate their own legend. The paw print thing is an old legend too. It actually exists, but like the Kanima, it's almost impossible to find any real details on how it works in the folklore. Unlike with the Kanima, Jeff and the other writers decided not to offer anything to tell us how it might work with Sebastien. Despite the fact that he's canonically just another werewolf, Sebastien's physical transformation was one of a kind. He seemed to draw dark tendrils of energy into and around his body. Now, once you get past the smoky start, he becomes a flesh and blood creature, but he still looks very unique compared to all the other werewolves in the show. Again, there's no explanation for this dramatic transformation, but Jeff tells me, quote, this does not mean it's a whole new werewolf. The beast was definitely a powerful werewolf, but that has more to do with just how purely evil Sebastien Valet is.
I kill whatever dares to cross my path.
Why?
It's what I am, what I become.
As we're told several times over the course of the show, the shape you take reflects the person you are. And Sebastien was a totally evil bastard who murdered a bunch of people. What's the deal with the beast smoky transformation? I get this one every now and then. Why was the beast transformation all black smoky like it was? We don't actually know. Jeff has said that he did not create the beast to be a different kind of werewolf, but they did want to make him a bigger threat than anything we'd seen before. That means physically big. Now, monster transformations on Teen Wolf are caused by underlying crazy. The crazier you are, the bigger your monster. Sebastien was the most crazy, thus he was the biggest. But my theory about the smoke is based a little in pseudoscience. Sebastien's body could only grow so much physically, but then he was more evil than his body alone could express, so he began to draw energy up from the telluric currents to pack on more mass. We've seen this smoke effect before from the Oni. They literally formed their bodies around the spirit spark by drawing energy from the telluric currents under the ground. It is a very similar effect. Again, it's just a theory, but the beast was so evil. That level of evil was so great that it actually had to draw supernatural energy into its body to form more mass. Okay, the strongest character on Teen Wolf is the Beast of Gévaudan.
You don't have to take my word for it. Jeff Davis has declared Sebastien Valet's Beast the strongest.
In terms of power.
Oh, that's hard. I'd say the beast is probably our most powerful werewolf, but he doesn't use the power intelligently.
And it was that lack of intelligence that got him skewered and killed by a sharp stick, not once, but twice.
How did the Beast tear through the Dread Doctors when they'd shown so much strength in earlier fights? If I was a true smartass, this video would be one word long. Size. It's true, though, the Dread Doctors looked good in fights earlier with Scott and the gang. The reason these hundreds of years old clockwork fetish queens can hold their own against various supernatural creatures is because of their mastery of electromagnetic forces.
Not entirely human. At least not anymore. They were scientists once. Scientists who worship the supernatural. They found their secrets in electromagnetic forces. Give them power, and most importantly, making you forget you ever saw them.
They possess a collection of gadgets in the helmet and the suits that are generating a field around them. We've seen this type of tech in action dozens of times across all media. While Teen Wolf did not go in for the obvious and expensive special effects of making the force field visible, which it would never be visible if it were real, because most of the spectrum isn't visible. I mean, I guess you could argue that it should be visible because a very small portion of the spectrum is in the range we can see, but in reality, most and I went off on a tangent that has absolutely nothing to do with this video. No wonder people complain about me. Teen Wolf did not go in for the obvious special effects to show the shield. They expect you to figure it out from the context clues and the visible results of what's going on screen and what's causing it. If the Dread Doctors push you, you're going to go in the direction they push because they're bringing to bear all the force their gadgets can produce in that push. If you attempt to face the Dread Doctors head on, they're going to repel you because your blows aren't actually landing on them, but all their blows land with the full force of electromagnetism. So, why could the Beast tear through these marvels of scientific innovation? Because size. The Beast is big enough to wrap his whole hand around the Dread Doctor, force field and all. Once you squeeze, you're pushing the force field in on itself from all sides, and suddenly all the machinery and the squishy old human inside get broken. Once all that electromagnetic gadgetry is stripped away, well,
This is what immortality looks like. I think you might have been misled.